going on, guys? I have about an hour and a ton of coffee, so I think the game plan is to try to see how fast I can rip these axles out without doing any damage. So let's get started. So step one for my process is going to be to actually take that shackle bolt out so that the leaf springs are able to swing away. Next up, I got my cheater bar out and started working on that front bolt. Definitely tough. I definitely need to get a breaker bar for this step. Here I am working on the brake line that attaches from the hard line to a soft line that goes down to the middle of the axle and then splits into two and goes to either side. One tip I learned while working on these axles is to wrap those in Ziploc bags so that there's less drippage. I definitely would not leave those there for long term, as the brake line will definitely start to break down the plastic and will eventually break those bags down. Next up is going to be taking those top 13 millimeter bolts out of the shock mounting points in the body. Alright, so I dropped the axle. I definitely thought it was free at this point. You're going to watch me struggle a little bit, only to realize that I did not take the front mounting bolts all the way off. With a ton of wiggling, out she comes. "20 minutes for the rear axle. Not too bad. Here I am pre-gaming this axle a little bit. I ended up finding the sockets that I needed beforehand so that it would be a smooth process. So I started with a 19mm on those coil retainer brackets, and I'm taking those off, and then the steering steering pitman arm to the actual linkage is a 24mm, and then the arms to the lower control arms are 21mm, and the upper control arms were a 15mm nut. Alright, at this point everything's going pretty smoothly. The lower control arms came out super smooth. The brake lines came apart very easily. At this point, coil number 1 is about to come out, and then swap over and get the second coil out. And it's pretty much at this point that the driver's side upper control arm starts kicking my butt, and I just could not get it. It was getting all cockeyed in the actual mount itself. tried moving the axle around a whole bunch and jacking it up and jacking it down until I took a look at it and noticed it wasn't coming out from the body side, so I thought I'd give a try on the axle side, and eventually that works its way out. I'm counting that as out. That took 40 minutes. It took exactly 1 hour. Granted, the front didn't have a front drive shaft in, but I'm counting it. 1 hour, front and rear axle drop, Jeep Cherokee. All right, axles are out in under an hour. I definitely had a ton of trouble getting that front out, just how it was cockeyed, and getting that left upper control arm out was a huge pain, but I ended up taking it off of the axle mount, and that was the trick to getting it out. You know, this thing has 500 miles on it, so it's running perfectly. There's a little ARB inlet, and you know, this thing is built and perfect for a less aggressive Jeep. You know, something on 31s, maybe 33s. But yeah, not for me. Those are 3.5-inch coils. I got another set, so we'll have some room to play with. And the rear axle I just took out with the leaf springs. I'm thinking probably tomorrow I'll strip these axles down, keep what I want to keep, and then put up for sale what I want to sell. Yeah. So, looks pretty good. Loads of room up in there to paint and all that stuff, and I'm sure it would have been much better for the welder if it was like this, but you know, what are you gonna do? And then, same with the rear axle. It's out, and a ton of room for activities. Gas tank's got to come out next. All that stuff. Exhaust is cut off. I had actually cut it off. Well, it's, I guess, easier to cut off when I was removing the hitch, you know, a week ago. But yeah, it's in official hover Jeep mode, so I think it's only appropriate to sign off the list. All right, stuff to take out. Rear axle's out, front axle's out, exhaust is almost out. I think I'm gonna start focusing on, you know, the stuff in the rear next, and then I'll probably start, you know, this is gonna be a big one. It's gonna take out kind of a lot of these all in one. And then these are kind of taken out just for convenience. But cool, that's it for today. See you tomorrow.